This is one of the many series that I'll be talking about and today I'll be talking about creation through our mind. Because we make our own lives, our own worlds. How did we get here? We know by our scientists and by people checking evolution and studied physics on the cosmos, we've got here through a billion years of process. A process that most humans will not understand. Especially years ago, they had no understanding of the people's own existence. Existence is just a modern thing that we've finally really started to understand. Because we can't really understand time. There is really no time. If you're a physicist, you would know that there's space-time, but there is no real time in the end. But we have time. We understand it through the sun and the process of the day, 24 hours a day. And we have our calendars that we created, our 7 days that were all put together through religion. And religion has controlled our existence in the last probably a couple thousand years, or modern humans. But how we got here is more of a miracle than anything else. Or your living body, your existence is something of 1 in some million, if chance, of getting here, like myself. All your relatives that were created can only been created for you to exist. I know evolution, and it's hard to understand evolution in branches of species and lineages. It's very tough to understand for the majority of people. We go along in our lives, we go to work, we have our fun, we have our drinks, our wine, go to the bar, we watch our sports events, and all that, but most of the time we really don't think who we are, what's the meaning of being here. A lot of this is the senses, to enjoy the senses, that it's taken so long for us to get here. The getting here is something of a miracle. But was it produced by one person? Or is it a chance? I guess that's the $1,000,000 question, or maybe $1 billion question, because now we get into billions of dollars. It used to be $100, then thousands of dollars, then millions of dollars. Now we talk about $1 billion, billionaires. But it's taken probably 1.5 million years for humans to evolve. All our other living things have been here so much longer. Plants, insects, the oldest is bacteria, which we're basically made of. But in a sense, since we've gotten here, and evolution has finally made us here, now we would create our own existence by inventing things, producing things. The bad things are the wars that we make. and the hatred that we have against one another. And most of that hatred has come through the existence of religions. But let's get back to the creation of ourselves. A lot of it has been survival. To eat. Most animals just survive day to day. They survive to eat and have sex to advance their DNA. It's the DNA process. All sex is to transfer DNA so the next generation can move forward. But really our existence originally was survival. 99% of human existence has been survival. But necessarily not survival of the fittest. We're one species that actually has helped each other in the past to exist. We formed groups of our species and hunted and gathered food for thousands of years till our modern society started to evolve. When we started to plow, invented the plow. I don't know who did. I don't know, you can look that up in history. But I'm sure it's been 6,000 years ago or so. That's how modern humans started to settle instead of being hunters and gatherers. Now our survival has changed since we can produce food and domesticated animals. Then we start thinking about what is our existence? Why are we here? And then the men that controlled the woman after the invention of the plow especially made up these religions to control masses, control the brainwashed children, and control women. But we're really animals. We're just smarter animals than the other species on Earth. Because we are a species. What refines a species? Our lineages. Different types of dolphins, for example, different types of whales, different types of bird species, but they have lineages from those offspring from those. Why you have Chinese people, Japanese people, Europeans, why we have different colored skin. It's just really where we evolved, that we were separated from the rest of the world. People who lived in China and then people that lived in the United States or early North America. All it is, the only reason they were different is because they ate different things, were exposed to different environments. That's the only reason they're different. Like I said, just like the color of skin, if you're closer to the equator, you have to reflect the sun. If you're away from the equator, you need to try to absorb it because you need the sun to survive. All species on Earth need to survive from the sun. Look at the similarities of animals to humans. Most of us all hear, see, feel, taste, and smell. Methane gas, we all got a shit, right? Most all animals on Earth eat. They have the nutrition to survive, and then that nutrition has to be excreted somewhere. Most of it through the anus, but some animals through their mouths. So, but you all need nutrients, water to survive, oxygen, except the oldest things on Earth that were first evolved, which is bacteria, the chia groups, and other bacteria species. And we have our viruses that are the devils of Earth to make us die. Those are the real plagues. Parasites are just living things. They're species that are trying to survive. Like humans are. Humans just evolved to be more ways, or better ways to adapt, to do the same things that animals do. But there are some differences in humans. Like we're the few that really enjoy, the few species that, or maybe the only species that actually enjoys sex. Put a little flair to sex. Animals don't. And we cry and we tear. Most animals don't. And we've learned to make music. And we've invented things to make lives better. And then we've come to make these religions that are men-controlled. And then those different religions started wars. And men started wars. Because men like to control men. And more men. And plunder. Men like to plunder. And that makes us the worst of the species. Makes us the worst of living things on Earth. Generally, animals kill to survive. We seem to kill for power and maybe sometimes for fun, which we've had. I think we need to change this final frontier that we call space. And Earth, we found out later on that Earth is just a small part of this final equation. But it's taken us thousands of years to get to the point to create this species. And now we have the knowledge to know while we're here in the creation, this endless universe. And we know now all these extra planets, endless solar systems, endless galaxies. We're just one small part of a huge infrastructure that we're just starting to learn. It's just an incredible thing to see that Hubble telescope and just look at all those galaxies out there, and we're just in the solar system of one galaxy. It's just mind-boggling to understand. But let me tell you the truth. You've made it to heaven. You've made it here. And if there is a God, maybe there is none. But you did make it here to be alive and enjoy the sense, the five, especially the five senses. But we generally have ruined the modern society. We've done some good things, and we've done a lot of bad things. And more bad things than good things, I think. I think modern humans today have this chance to change what I really believe is heaven. I think we've made it to heaven, and there are endless heavens out there, which we're first discovering. We're just finally seeing through these spacecraft that we send out to the solar system. And look through these huge telescopes that we see this frontier out there that we're just starting to have some kind of clue. Why can't we just change our small little world? Our small environment, really? Why can't we just come to peace? You know, we've gotten this mind that has evolved, that we can think and reason. Why can't we just come together and help each other and stop violence? Let everybody enjoy this heaven. To a certain point, I think there's always going to be the people that are healthy, and there's always going to be sick people. There's always going to be people that are more wealthy than others. There's always going to be people that are smarter than others. Most people are followers, though. So we need these leaders, or these smart people that I might call, is to unite and learn the masses that we must be one nation in heaven and control the destiny for the best. That's what needs to be done. I'm hoping that we can finally make that difference. That we can learn to guide our own future without being controlled by these major religions that have come about through deception, and through times they evolved through when people didn't know nothing. We knew, I think they came about because we just had to have some kind of feeling of what we are. I mean, had to have some kind of trying to have some kind of understanding of what we are. But there was no Adam and Eve. There wasn't no 7 days that created Earth. There was no Muhammad that was God's chosen one. And then the Jews are the chosen people. I like all people. Most people can be reasonable. But when you're brainwashed when you're so young to not to understand the true meaning of life existence and the true facts of life, how we got here, what you're made out of, how all things are created through factual evolution. I think there's a big problem. Why we should teach children to be hateful of different races of people. And then we use these religions that we made up of, to fuel the fire. That's all it is, fueling the fire. I want to start a new force. I want to start something that people will understand. It's called Heavenism. It's a new beginning. A new beginning of people as a species. And that you've made it to heaven. This heaven is truthful. There's truth to this heaven. Because you're living it now. There's no heaven that any religion talks about. Because they don't know what it is. They think heaven, they make up these stories about this heaven when you die, and you live this wonderful life after death. It's such a myth. There's no truth to it at all. Nobody knows what happens after you die, but I know what happens when you live, because everything is factual. Because you're living heaven now. Heaven can't be perfect. It never will be. It never can be a perfect heaven. Because you cannot have the feelings of living without ever having everything perfect. Sometimes pain is love, like having, for example, a woman having a baby. Or to hear the music, or the beautiful nature of sight, the colors of the fall, and the smell of that beautiful roast, or the smell of the flower, the taste of that chocolate, or the feeling of having sexual intercourse with love involved. There can't be anything better. These religions talk about heaven, and what they talk about is what you can have today, what you can have now. You can have enjoyable life, and this generation can change it for all the future that comes. Some have to sacrifice for the future. And that's all evolution it really is. Where animals do sacrifice for the survival. A few will sacrifice for the survival of many. Really think about it. I'm only one person that's trying to reach this world audience. Will you understand? Just do some study. Really look at the hardcore beginnings of these religions that exist today. They don't make any sense. I mean, they're facts. It's just their truth has no meaning, real meaning to what a God would really want of you. He wouldn't want you to go to war for himself. He wouldn't want you to shoot or kill people because these other people aren't your religion. Especially blow up yourself, to kill your own self, to kill so many other people just for some God. My God wouldn't want that. My God wants you to make your own heaven wonderful. And it's right here, and it's called Earth. We even put a name to it. It's called Earth. That's a name that humans have put to it. Did God put any kind of name to anything? I haven't seen God write anything down. But maybe our God has made us the minds. He's gave us the mind to really foresee our own future, to make changes for the best. My religion, you don't have to believe in a God. Just believe that you made it to heaven. That's the only belief you got to believe. You don't have to believe there's a creator out there. Believe that this is heaven, and try to make it better for all our different species. People that live in Japan, China, South America, Australia, Indonesia. How our technology is making the world so much smaller. And it's getting smaller and smaller. And we can finally, over this time, we can communicate so fast with somebody all over the world in a matter of seconds. Why can't we just put our mind, get rid of these old religions that our relatives put together, but they had no idea what the world was about. They thought the world was flat. They thought the sun went around the earth. I mean, come on. And these story-told stories and these books about these unbelievable tales of what people did, like Moses, and one example. I mean, they're just fairy tales that got way out of hand. Let's just believe in the facts of life, the facts of our existence, and the facts of what we can change. Heavenism is the future. It is the real movement. Come with me. Follow me. Let's unite. Help me have the power. Help me, you fellow people. Help me make this world so much better. Let's finally put peace of mind to everybody. Don't have dictators controlling our masses. Let's put some basic rules in that keep society under control. Let's make the main focus is helping each other and make this a wonderful heaven. This is the Heavenist. I will speak again. Love you all. Amen.